La persona que va a venir a hablar con nosotros ahora y que nos va a contar parte de su historia también es Moishe Mana. Moishe nació en Israel, pero ha vivido gran parte de su vida en Estados Unidos y es responsable del desarrollo del barrio Wynwood, allá en Miami. Así que va a ser una experiencia interesante, una charla de cómo un barrio que estaba, la verdad, bastante deteriorado en esa época, como completamente abandonado, cómo se recuperó, se metió muy fuerte el tema del arte. Yo diría que una especie de melting pot cultural, esa zona ahora. Y la verdad es que es un barrio súper sofisticado ahora, con un montón de actividades culturales que antes no existían, estaba completamente abandonado, como digo yo. Así que quiero aprovechar y ver si estamos listos con el micrófono. ¿Estamos ok? Les quiero presentar a Moishe Mana y un aplauso para él, la bienvenida.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hi. All right, here we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So this is, I understand, it's the last session. So I hope you guys had a good day. Did you have a good day? Okay, good. So I had a good day as well. So you saved the best for last. That's what I said before. Anyway, so today I'm going to talk about two issues that it's two separate issues about what are we doing, who we are, what we are, and about ourselves, our organization, and the vision for our organization. And it's two different issues. So, but I like to start with us as a technology community. What are we doing as a technology company? Why do we need technology? And what's the purpose of technology at the end of the day? Technology was created really to improve our life, to have a better health. It's something that is meant to be something to be positive and have positive impact on our life. And it started back when technology, but it became at the beginning of the century with Nikola Tesla and Edison and the competition and the first competition, and where there was no rules of engagement. And so, but today we are back again. We have technologies coming from so many areas, and very important to emphasize that at the end of the day, technology was created for a good purpose and not a bad purpose. And unfortunately, there are people that are using it for the wrong reason. So, just as a question for you, how many of you people think that media should not be censored? How many of you think media should not be censored? Can you raise your hand? So you don't want no censorship on media? Everything, anybody can say anything you want to say. Yes? No. Who said no? Okay, I said no as well. Yes, media should be censored. Should be censored. Because if somebody walk into this room and throw a smoke grenade, should he go to jail? Yes. So when somebody go on a social media and create conspiracies and create fear and division among us, that person should be removed from social media. It's like what I say to people, social media is like a highway of information. And when I drive on the highway, there's rule of engagement, 60 miles an hour. I have to put a helmet. I have to put a seat belt. There's rules of engagement on the highway. And I expect, with what's coming up with the AI and everything that's coming in, I do expect and hope that will be some censorship, because peddling conspiracies and creating fear and creating lies is not really helping us, and some people using it the wrong way. And we have this guy, Elon Musk, for some reason, he decided to destroy our society and to have everything open and everything that is okay to do. And from my opinion, I'm very sure what I'm saying, that social media, and when people do conspiracies, I mean, it's like you don't catch everybody. But people who have millions of followers and people that have influence should be stopped. We cannot let them divide us and separate us and create lies. It's very simple. It's not complicated to understand, because we do not know as people, very difficult for us to know the truth from the lies. And that's what creates division. So again, this is a way of using the innovation the wrong way, I think. Some people purposely, they use it, they hack into computers and stuff like this. And so there's always the good and the bad. And today I saw Adrian. Is Adrian here in the room? Adrian? No, he's not here. So, and he reminded me about an event that we had in Miami. So we were different investors from Silicon Valley. They came in and they were talking. Mayor of Miami was there, and there was about a couple of hundred of people in the event. And we were talking about the AI and what should be done, and should be AI, how fast can we go, and what really the impact of AI will be on our society. So one of the investors, which apparently he is a very successful investor from Silicon Valley, he was talking about, yes, let's give everybody, do whatever they want to do. No censorship, drive down the drive down the hill with no brakes. And every time we speak with people that talk about AI, it's really scary. It's really scary. You do not know the facts from the truth. So when people tell us what really AI and what it can do and what it cannot do, and it can be a machine that really rule our life, and we cannot be control the AI, and the AI can think for itself, this is very scary for me. I was very critical with his position, and because let's do it. Let's, everything people want to do. Because as you know, the Holocaust, killing 6 million Jews, and some 20 other million people got killed, the Second World War, would have not happened if there was no Industrial Revolution. So every revolution, and every time we get a new tool as society, we tend to use it in the wrong way many times, and the wrong weapon fall in the wrong hands of people. And not for nothing, the atomic bomb today is in the hands of very unstable governments. Look at Donald Trump with all this craziness. He got an access to atomic bomb. Putin, the leader of North Korea, whatever his name, Kim Jong-un. I mean, all this, usually this dangerous weapon usually falls in the hand of people. And we as society must be very careful when we adopt new technology. Had Hitler had an atomic bomb at the time, he would have destroyed half of the world. So innovation is good. We need innovation, but we need also to have some kind of slowly, careful. Certain things that we know is dangerous should be like walking danger in a very careful way. And he was criticizing me, the guy. He goes like, so what do you want to do? You want to go back to the kerosene time where we don't need electricity? I said, it's not what I'm saying. I have no problem building airplanes, but we need to build parachutes as well with it, So every innovation need to build the defense with it. When you build innovation with no defense, that's putting our society in a dangerous and in a harm's way. So we have to be careful. And here what we're seeing, all this innovation and people exciting and this and that. That's super, super exciting, super energizing, and really like I get energy seeing this energy in this country, you know, and it's not only here in this ecosystem. When I meet with people outside of here and different industries, the people about, yes, let's do, let's create, let's build, and not for nothing, Chile is really, I would like to say it's a different country than many of the Latin American countries. But this is my common sense about a little bit about innovation and the problem with innovation, and you people that really in charge for innovation, how you really have to think, you know, and how to see the issues. So I will talk a little bit about myself, maybe a little bit of inspiration points, and what we do, and the way I see the world, and where I came from. Me, myself, I came to America. I came with America with nothing, with $800 in my pocket. There was no Google at the time. Never flew on an airplane, never left my city, came from a poor family, and my idea was I want to change my life. I grew up with this idea from a young age. I wanted to change my life, my parents' life, and I always was about breaking the glass ceiling and doing the impossible. So I flew to New York. I didn't know anybody, and I started with nothing. And when I needed to wash dishes, I washed dishes. When I needed to sell on the street, I was sold on the street. When I needed to move people, I moved people in my van, and I created a big logistic company. And from there, I started my journey in life of discovering really at the end of the day myself, what I can do, what I cannot do, and getting the best out of myself. Getting the best out of myself. This is the journey that really, it's not only the money and what I created in my life and the changes that I've created in many people's life, but it's really also the change, how I saw the world from a young age and how I evolved to see the world and what I've done and what I created as a result. So, and from there I started my journey, logistics and different businesses, and diversified and real estate, and at one point I got into the meat packing, and we created a huge impact in the meat packing. Many of you probably know Milk Makeup or Milk Studios from New York, and this was one of my companies. And from there, I went ahead and I philosophized my development, and I totally understood that we need to live communities is very important, and communities not available in the big cities, because I came from a place where there's a neighborhood where the street was we play soccer, and my mom worked across the street and back and forth to the house, and the idea to create live, work, play kind of spaces. So I ended up buying buying big real estate portfolio in every neighborhood and changing the neighborhood and creating a vibrant community within the neighborhood, live, work, play. So in Jersey City, I built the biggest art center in America where artists work, create, sell. It's 2 million square feet. Are we okay with the translation? Yeah. So, and then when I came to Miami, Miami represented a different opportunity and challenged me to think different. I went to Wynwood, and I figured that Miami needed to build a cultural hub where it's sustainable cultural hub. And I went to a neighborhood called Wynwood, and I bought 45 acres in Wynwood, and it was all destroyed neighborhood, a lot of abandoned warehouses, crime infested, and they started doing the music event and fashion event and arts, street arts, invested in the neighborhood, every year $2-3 million because I knew the destiny of my real estate is the destiny of the neighborhood at the end of the day. And I call it losing run rate on real estate. We used to do losing run rate in technology, but nobody losing run rate on real estate. So, and I created great value as a result. So when we became a cultural hub and one of the coolest neighborhoods, and me started really because it's Miami, traveling Latin America, understanding Latin America, and visiting many high-tech companies in Latin America, and see the poverty in many countries. And I figured that I must do something about it, and make a change. And so what I came up with the idea to create a global hub in Miami to facilitate the trade, B2B, between Latin America, North America, and the Far East. A showroom for businesses that people don't need to travel, B2B, and legal and financials and everything else. And we were like working with different countries and governments, and then came Donald Trump with the idea of America First and the whole nonsense, and we put the project on hold, backpedaled, was visiting technology companies in different Latin American countries. And I said, remember, this was 2014, 15, 16, 17. The chances to raise money is slim to none from outside. And technology need money. So you cannot do it without the participation of the world. So the only way is really, if we bring these technology companies, not the whole company, certain parts of the company, to Miami, to collaborate, to connect, to get involved with investors, because together it's 700 million people economy, so the investors going to be very appealing to be investing in 700 million people economy, and not only Chile, which with all the respect, 20 million people. So the idea, if they sit the entrepreneur in one ecosystem, they can really collaborate among themselves and create the unicorns of the future. I don't know this. Anyway, and create the unicorn of the future. And with this, and because the live, work, play was very appealed to me at the time, and physical, digital communities. And I started really buying a flaglet district in downtown Miami, put together about 72 properties, buildings. And I called it at the time the Silicon Valley of Latin America. And I bought it based on the idea. I said, this is my idea, and that's what I'm doing. And buy, no question asked. And then we designed the street, because the street, I always saw it as part of your home and part of your office, extension of your home and for your office. And we created carbon stone, walkable street. We are building it. We're building it. I was able to raise $40 million to do it. We created the vision, designed the neighborhood, the street, and that's the what we've been doing. Now, as a result of what I was doing with these tech companies, and I built what's called the organization Manatech. The Manatech purpose is really to execute on the vision that I set forward. And the Manatech organization, at the end of the day, its purpose really to help these companies in terms of education, go to market, collaborate, raise money. And we hosted dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of companies that came in, and we had 100 companies only from Chile. And they're working with different organizations in Latin America and bringing them to Miami and give them everything that they need. And most of this I financed myself because I believed in the vision. As a result of everything that I've been doing, I got to the conclusion back then that America should be one economy. Latin America, North America should be one economy. There's no other way but to create one economy, including dollarization of Latin America. Because North America is 400 million people, Latin America 700, together it's 1.1 billion people economy. Now, and I worked in China, and I saw the Chinese agenda. I didn't like it. It's 1.5 billion people. And then you have India, 1.5 billion people. How do you compete with this kind of economy? If not really bring our neighbors in play. Latin America is a very rich continent, but poor countries. So the only way is unification of economies. That's the only way that I can understand it. Go to Europe, it's unified. China unified, America is unified, India is unified, the Emirates is unified. So you got to be part of a union because no one country can compete by itself. And here I've been talking to the Chilean people. The only way for you people to succeed is really reach out to your neighbors, and you got to work with your neighbors. This way you get a bigger impact economy, because with 20 million, it's still not enough. And I see these young generations here that really want to make changes in their own countries and excited about the changes, about the impact, about the business that they want to create. So the easiest way, and I see here, and this event is very inspiring for me. And this is something that really I understand. This is going to happen, and nobody's going to stop it. It's not nobody going to stop these people, and the movement is going to come. If the politician not going to do what we are saying, we're going to start it from the ground up. We started from the ground up, and today, in the past, Latin America was isolated because there was no technology. But today, we have the app, we have the internet, instant communication. So the people that want to create the changes and want to build a life for themselves and for the families and for the countries, it's much easier today to do it, but they need also the help. And that's what we've been on this journey. I've been doing it also in agriculture. We have 500,000 farmers on our platform that we have them anything they need in terms of seed, in terms of information, in terms of banking, and anything that we do. We started in Colombia. So that's the journey of that, what we've been doing basically as an organization, the Mana Tech. By the way, it's not only the tech, it's the fashion industry. Fashion is also is industry by itself. So created showrooms for soft landing for fashion designer, for fashion companies, material bank that we're working on. The same thing with entertainment, the same thing with arts. We've been big supporters of Pinta, for many, many years. And the art is a very important component of our life. So we as the organization, we're not a charity organization, don't misunderstand it. But we're definitely a social impact organization where we see the investment have a purpose. The investment can make the difference in other people's life. And this has been our journey and my team journey. And my team been working, I see them here non-stop. And they don't work for the money. They work really for the changes and impact they create, day and night, and non-stop. So that's basically the story of my life today. And I came here I didn't know what to expect from Chile. And extremely encouraged, extremely impressed. The government is doing a good job also, giving entrepreneurs money, giving companies money, and collaborating with them, and partnering with them, and private organizations that they're contributing. That's what it is. Anybody have questions? Anybody have questions? No questions. This means I answered everything. Okay, go ahead.
Thanks for the presentation. Andres here. I manage a climate tech VC fund. My question is around financial inclusion. So Latin America has the highest financial disparity. Just wanted to know what's your position on that, and what can we do as Latin Americans to close that gap?
All right, you touched very, very important subject. You cannot build economy on a cash basis. Cannot build a cash basis. If you want to put a building, you cannot accumulate cash to build a building or hotel or a restaurant. You got to have banking. And unfortunately, in Latin, we're facing a big issue of monopoly of banks. In Chile, the situation much better than most of other countries. There are countries, there's only 2 banks or 3 banks, and that's it. And they are really this monopoly of, and you cannot build the economy when they charge you 15% on your money. And it has to be much more open for competition. It has to have more platform for access for other, for other people, for other banks and financial institution access, and the government to be open about it. Today I had a meeting with BCI. I was very impressed about what they're doing and how they're doing and how they see the world. And this is the most normal bank that I've seen in Latin America so far. It's really like the banks are choking the economy of Latin America. There's no other way to say it, And I conveyed this message to President of Colombia when I saw him, and other presidents. It has to be open for competition. It has to open for investment. But if we do also, we dollarize the economy of all countries, it's going to be much easier for the investors to come and put money, much easier for more banks to come and compete. China in the 1800s was the biggest economy in the world because it was all cash basis. At the end of the 1800s, they invented banking in the West, investments. So all the economy moved to the West, and the West became the biggest economy. In the mid-70s, in 1975, 1978, China decided to change direction, no more cash basis, and we're going to go into the banking system. And as a result, China became the second largest economy in the world. Without banking, they could have never made it to become second economy in the world. Very good question. In America, we have 4,000 banks, and it can't be that 3 banks in the country or 50 million people. That's not normal. Okay, everything said. Go ahead. Can you give him the microphone? Come close.
Hi. Could you be explain from your point of view how we implement a dollarist economy in Latin America?
How's what?
How we implement a dollarist economy?
I don't understand the question. I'm sorry again? Okay, how do you implement? I got you. How do you implement? Okay. So this should be in collaboration between the central banks of the countries and the Central Bank of America, because it has to be an American interest to dollarize these economies, and these economies have to agree to dollarize the economy and stay by it and not change the system again. Okay, so you see countries like Panama, they're thriving because they're working on the dollar. El Salvador now going to the dollar, So I had the situation where the economy minister of Argentina came to my office, and he said they needed $20 billion for the central bank to dollarize the economy, and they didn't have it. To me, it was a speeding ticket for America, because we went to Afghanistan and we put between $2 and $3 trillion. We went to Iraq, $2 or $3 trillion, and what did we get? Bags, bodies in bags. We didn't get anything. We put just fraction of it in Latin America. We can create a thriving economy. We can create the velocity of economy. And America is, that's what I tell the American people, this is the best choice for you to create a bigger economy. Instead of manufacturing should be in Vietnam, instead of being in China, it should be right here. That's America. That's the same, when I go to Mexico, It's very inspiring. Mexico look one of the best cities in America, you know, and it became a trade partner of America, number one. Now we have a little bit problem in America. It's with this philosophy that they are leading, but I think they're going to learn the lesson, you know. And what I tell the American in a very simple way, and I always repeat what I say: closing your door doesn't make your home safe, and throwing your garbage to the window doesn't keep your home clean. So if you want a healthy America, must be a healthy Latin America. There is no way around it. It's the same neighborhood, and it's the right thing to do.
Hello, Moishe. It's been very inspiring to hear about you and your story, and we actually worked together back in Miami and now here a while ago when you arrived, so the absolute welcome. But in a way, I think that we're in this world, in this very fast world, you know, that is moving for people that are walking, right? And what would be your message as an entrepreneur? Why? And because everyone knows here that it's very hard, you know? But consistency, we were talking about consistency, right?
And you are consistent, Yigal.
You know, and thank you. So what would be your message today? Because you're talking about dollarization, that it sounds pretty amazing, right? So it's going to come at some point, right? Because it's very safe, it's very healthy. But what would be your point of view and like message to everyone here, you know, because young and adults, you know, we can all go into this new world of technology, of new ways of communications, creating these hubs, you know, that is very important for different startups that are really small, you know, and some other startups that are big, like you, like everyone, like us, we start helping them, right? And we see that happening. So what would be like your closing message to everyone with all that is going on right now?
Well, I'm going to go, you see, I mean, just coming to Chile and seeing this energy and this excitement, it's very inspiring. But what I tell again, you know, the people, especially they're starting the businesses, and there's many young people here, there's people that are older. Listen, I mean, there is no, you have to go and edit, and if it doesn't work this way, it will work this way. It doesn't work this way, it has to work that way. So keep doing it and keep trying, you know, and it's okay, to fail, but you got to stand up. Like today, I was telling the reporter today, I mean, no good boxer can become good boxer without getting punched a few times, you know, in his life. And you as a person yourself, you know, you came for 15 years old. I mean, you were on the street punching and kicking and bucking, and made you a good entrepreneur. There's no way around it. I mean, I came, you know, with nothing, with $800 that I ended up giving it to somebody, and ended up with nothing, with bare hands. But it's something that you have, and you cannot do it without gasoline. You have to have the ambition. The ambition is the gasoline. You know, like I would have not succeeded without this gas, with all this desperation that I had, you know, because when I started, and a reporter asked me about the secrets, you know, there's no secrets. Secret of my success, they call it secret. I said, it's not secret. It's some people succeed because of desperation, and some people because of inspiration. And especially when you're young, you're coming from nothing, that's desperation. There is no other way, that you got to succeed, and you got to build a future for your family, and you got to make a change. You create a painting, it goes values as time goes by, and especially after they die, even much more, you know. But when it comes to fashion, it's like a seasonal, and tend to copy, and really this is one of the most difficult businesses. But people love fashion, and people do fashion, and they are in it just because they love it. So we support the fashion with showrooms and everything that they can do in event, and give them the ability to show in the International in Miami. And we're going to organize the Latin America Miami Fashion Week, bringing fashion, and because fashion, many times, it used to be one designer and 5 girls walking with clothes that never people wear, and walking in, and only 200 people. But today, see the fashion show is really more about the people and much practical clothes and having the people access to the fashion designers and create these music events and fashion and make it for the public rather than just for the photographers and for the media. So okay, this is one, this is fashion. And then music, I love music, and we do in Wynwood many different music events all the time. And the best thing that we could do is collaborate between artists. And you bring artists from the Far East, which I need to get to it, Far East, Latin America, new music, because each one got a different instrument and how they can collaborate and create the facilities. And we've been big supporters. I mean, we just had in Wynwood the event of 3 Points. 60,000 people was in this event. And I remember when they came to me and they asked me for money to do the event the first time, to create the 3 Points, and they needed the facility. I give them the facility and I give them the money, and it became a very successful. It was not an investment, it was a grant. And they did very well, and when I see it, I get very wow. And then you have Pinta, that we supported the arts and artists from Latin America, and we bring them. And this year I do not know what they're going to be doing. But listen, I mean, at the end of the day, when you build a neighborhood, when you build an ecosystem, I tell people you don't need to make money. You have to look at it like a mall. Some stuff you don't make money, you lose money even, because that's what's going to make the mall interesting. And many developers make the mistakes. They start bringing the artists, and then after the artists come and create the vibes, okay, now get out, we move on. So if you go at South Beach used to be deco art and but everything. Now you find yourself in South Beach, why am I here? Everything was changed, everything glass, everything, so there's no, so many developers make the same thing all the time, bring the artists, activate it, and get out. I'm very worried about Wynwood, but that's why I ended up buying 45 acres that I can create my own ecosystem. And that's what we've been doing, so again, activating the artists and working with the artists in Jersey City. We built 2 million square feet of artist work, create, sell, and we got museums, and we got some of the best artists in the world. They work out of there. So it became a point where people come, collectors, and people come to buy art directly from the artists, from the kitchen. And it's very inspiring to be in this ecosystem. So we're doing it's easy to talk the talk, but it's very difficult to talk the walk, to walk the talk, and because it's very tempting, and it's always about, okay, so I can get more money here, I can get more. No, listen, even in the ecosystem, I tell my people, don't increase the price on the artist. Let's try to find a different way to make money from it. A different way from the ecosystem we built. So we're going to build winery over there. We're going to build restaurants over there. So there's a different way of, using the culture to do something different with it. So that's the way I look at it.
Hey, Moishe, here again. Igal? Right here, front, Igal.
Igal.
Hey, Moishe, so with all being said, right, are you thinking about investing in Latin startups? If you are, how much you're thinking, right? And when? Your timings. What are you looking for? Okay,
obviously, the Manatech organization I'm subsidizing it. Okay, it's, they call it a non-profit, I call it for losing, So the only way that I can recoup this investment, one of the only ways that I can recoup this investment, that I establish a fund, and we're going to be putting money in these companies. But again, we need to help them, and we cannot be passive. We need to really give them a hand, This is the vision at the end of the day, and I always tell the people, listen, we're building a neighborhood. One good exit that we invest in can pay for the entire real estate and the whole neighborhood real estate. That's the way I look at it. But definitely we're going to need to do it.
Cool. So Latin Americans can be like ready for you.
Yes, I mean,
to
we work on it. I
to
mean,
get
we're
inspired.
here, we're going to discuss it, and Charlie is here, and the team is here, and they brought me in, and yeah, so we're going to do it this year or another. I need to do it. You know, I already invested in Latin America startups, I mean, which is Crapper, you know, and the others that we've been investing in. And we have the document management in different cities in Latin America. So it's not that we didn't invest. And we got the agriculture, you know, the physical agriculture in yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's it? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.